Guys, welcome back to another video. Alright, so today I have one of the most unique predators Neca has ever released, and that is the Armored Assassin Predator. This guy is awesome. I cannot wait to show you guys and take him out of this box. Let's go. Alright, this thing is so massive, I almost have to move my camera back a little farther. But check out the front of the box. The artwork here is absolutely incredible with the Armored Assassin Predator here and the Fugitive Predator here. It's just getting dwarfed by this gigantic guy. And there he is on the side. Looks like it's the same picture. Title on this side. And then we have all the different pictures and poses you can put this amazing predator in, especially that one right there where he's got the Fugitive Predator lifted up off the ground. There's one of his alternate heads, mandibles wide open, screaming, and what is that, the plasma caster? Yep, one with the plasma caster there, and you get a shot of one of his accessories along with the plasma caster, and then one of his standard wrist blades. But as we open this up, we got this ultimate box style, and we have the Armored Assassin Predator right here. Amazing pose. And here he is in the box. And unless you've seen this guy and held him in your hand, you can't really get a grasp on how big and beefy this guy really is. You can see him in the box there. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this box. Let's break it open. So here he is out of the box. Took me a couple minutes to actually set him up, and I'll show you why it's kind of hard to get this guy posed. But good on Neca for giving us this amazing backdrop, and it's the thick cardboard, which I absolutely love. Good job for not cheaping out on the backdrop. Even though I don't use them a lot, I still like to see that. Now on to the man himself, the Armored Assassin Predator. And like I said before, he is absolutely massive. I think he's about 11 inches tall. He towers over the other ultimate predators, which I'll show you. I don't have the other Fugitive Predator that they just released, but I have similar predators that are exactly the same size as that Fugitive. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, which kind of sucks because I like to pair him with this one right now, but oh well. Love or hate the 2018 Shane Black Predators movie. You just have to love this guy. Whether you're a Predator fan or if you hated that movie or whatever, you have to love this guy. I absolutely hated that new movie, but this guy arguably was the best part of that film by far for me, mainly because I wasn't really expecting, I didn't know that he was going to be in that new movie, and when I first saw him, I almost jumped out of my seat. I was like, what the hell is that? How freaking cool is he in that movie? But anyways, but as cool as he was in that movie, it absolutely transfers over to this figure by Neca. And as you can see, as I show you from head to toe, exactly the detail and the paint job that they achieved on this character is absolutely fantastic. And they usually knock it out of the park with these Predator figures, but this one is really, really special. So as I do a close-up on his face, you can tell he's not wearing the biomask. I mean, he's damn near naked. He's only wearing this little loincloth here, and that's all I needed because his skin is made of armor, and you can tell. You can see how bumpy, just the actual texture is like concrete. You know, very bumpy, very rough looking all around him. But as I mentioned earlier, he was kind of tough to pose up because he has these comically small feet. I mean, look at this. He almost looks like he has hooves, like centaur feet. And this is the only time I think I've ever seen a predator with these small feet. For as big as he is, he's got these tiny little feet. So he is kind of hard to stand up. It's all about balance. I have him pretty good right now. I guess with a little practice, you can get him to stand up pretty nice, as you can see. But as I'll show you when I do the height comparison, the other predators, their feet are about twice as big as this guy. So taking a look at him, the paint job is like a bluish gray with these red kind of lines, this red pattern that flow throughout his armored body, and it continues on to the back side, which looks really nice actually with this bluish gray color. Going over to his wrist gauntlet, pretty nicely detailed, nicely painted. Same thing with the other one on this other side. And this is where the plasma caster goes, and then his wrist blade goes over here, and I'll get to that shortly. We get to the top of his head, and this is where it gets really interesting. All these nice spikes and bumps all over the place. And look how great his mandibles are. Once again, I really wish they articulated his mandibles here, but they don't. The alternate head has him screaming. This one has more of a closed mouth look. And if you can take a look at his eyes, they got the eyes just right. Doesn't look goofy or anything. They painted him perfectly. Go around to the back where his dreads are, and they got these little bands that wrap. Kind of very similar to all the other Predators. They have these little bands around his dreads or whatever they're called. But this one has these little spikes on the very top. See that? There's these little spikes that kind of jut out of just the very top bands around his dreads here. And that's really, really cool. And then check out his hands here. You don't want to get punched by these guys. He does come with 2 fists right here. Look at those spikes on the end of his knuckles. This guy is just badass all the way around. I mean, you do not want to run into this guy. And just the way he holds his hands out, even with the stock hands, just look extremely creepy. And as we go down to his loincloth here, this piece right here, this little piece, let me move his arm out of the way, made of very soft rubber. This side is soft too, but it's more welded on really, but you can still kind of move it. And this part right here does move on the back. This part here is kind of molded onto his body. Go down to his legs, more of that great detail. Just the spiky bumps everywhere. It looks great. And I've already mentioned the comically small feet, but you can see that. And I'll go over the articulation in just a few moments. All right, so let's start with the articulation. So we do have the standard ball peg in his head, and we get some pretty nice movement out of it. And if he's looking down, which, let's be honest, this guy's looking down at almost everybody, so that's the way he's gonna look. And then we can get pretty nice movement looking up. Of course, he spins all the way around. And being a ball peg, we can have free range on his head. So down to his shoulders, there's one thing of note. These little shoulder pad armor plates here on his shoulder, they do kind of inhibit his shoulder movement. And this one's pretty stiff. I didn't hit this guy with heat yet, and he is exceptionally hard to move. But with these shoulder pads here, they kind of hit right here on the top of his, near his neck. So as you can see, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble. Oh, there we go. So it looks like they do kind of slide up a little bit. See that? I'll show you the back here what I'm talking about. So I guess as it gets looser, it'll get better, but just keep in mind that those could be a problem while posing this guy. You get the standard forward, back. He doesn't have upper bicep articulation, but he does have the lower bicep articulation where he can spin all the way around. And then he has a swivel at his wrist gauntlet. And of course, you can see he does have double jointed elbow here. And like I said, guys, he's really, really stiff, but it's double jointed. And then as we go down to the wrist, it is a swivel all the way around, and there is a nice hinge at his wrist, as you can see. And one of my favorite parts on this guy is the upper torso articulation, where we can get some really nice movement out of him. And just look at that, he can be screaming backwards like this, and he bends back. Pretty nice with that upper articulation in his upper body. Just screaming out. Yeah! Probably not gonna leave that part in. Yes, I will. All right, and then we go down to his lower waist. We have standard articulation there. Looks like it's on a ball, forward and backwards. Now let's go down to his legs. So his legs, as you can hear, are ratcheted. So it helps a lot being ratcheted just with the sheer size of this guy and the small feet, trying to get him balanced. So I'm actually really happy they did that. Forward and backwards, very nice. We go down to his knees here, and his knees are double jointed, but once again, very, very stiff. I cannot get this top part of his upper knee area. I can't get that to bend. Very, very hard to bend. It's so stiff. I'm gonna have to blast this guy with some heat. But his lower knee bends really nice. And let me see this part here. His other leg. Yeah, even this side, it's just super stiff. I don't want to force it. I do not want to break this guy on camera. Also be careful, because when I was mentioning those spikes earlier, this spike right here is absolutely deadly. You will absolutely draw blood with these spikes here on the back of his caps. And then right here, I forgot what this part's called, but he does have some articulation where that does bend forward and bend backwards. Okay, his super small feet. You can move forward and backwards on a hinge. There we go. And they do rock back and forth. So getting this guy to stand up, once you have it, you have it. But trying to get him in some super cool poses might be a challenge with these small feet. And just, you know, he's very, very top heavy. And with these small feet, kind of make it a problem. If I take more time to kind of pose him up, I'm sure I'll get him in a nice pose, but I kind of threw off my balance now because I just did all the articulation. But, yeah. Okay, cool. There we go, I got him balanced in the scream. Awesome, but let's go to his accessories. Here we have his alternate head. Finally focused. So here we have his alternate head. Really cool open mandible screaming head, which looks absolutely fantastic. Look how great this is. I mean, you've got the same dreads with the spikes on top. But once again, like I said it before, and I said it with almost every Predator, I really wish these were articulated somehow so we can actually do this movement by ourselves instead of just having it molded open or closed. Then we have the two closed fists. These are actually, look at his thumb. Look at that giant claw coming out of his thumb. I mean, everything about this guy is just sharp and spiky. And there's the other one. I do like these stock hands that he comes with. I'm probably not going to use these unless he's like posing up for the plasma caster. That's actually not a bad idea. His wrist blade, which goes there on his, actually pretty easy to put in on this one. Right there. That's actually really easy to put in. That's a first. And then we have his plasma caster that comes out of his left side wrist gauntlet. And it just sticks in right there. So let's do that now. Yeah, there's a little spot right there. And it just fits right in. Wow, I mean, these are super easy to put in and out. They just stick right in there, so easy. Look at that. The other Predators are very, very hard to get his accessories in, at least in my experience. Oh wait, I've had it in backwards. Uh-oh, sorry guys. There we go. There we go. Now that's in right. I put it in backwards, but I kind of don't want to lose this pose. So I'm just gonna keep them just like that. And then we have this real small, you can see that, it's super small. I think this is the plasma caster as it's retracted when he's not using it. So we can just take this one out and then, or take the plasma caster out and just stick this one in this wrist gauntlet. And you got yourself a retracted plasma caster, but that's it. He doesn't come with a ton of accessories. All right, and as I mentioned before, I'm gonna show, I don't have the Fugitive Predator from the same movie that he's in, but I do have, here is the Jungle Hunter Predator, and you can see that Armor Assassin just towers over him, just dwarfs him. I mean, it's not even close. A comparison side by side, just how big this guy really is. He's the same size as the new Fugitive Predator. All the Predators are roughly the same size, except for this guy. Next we have the City Hunter Predator from Predator 2. And there you go. Same thing, like I said. And I'm just gonna show you real quick. Here's the feet on the City Hunter Predator. Look how big his feet are compared to to the tiny little hooves of this guy. I mean, wow. About half the size of this guy with twice the size of his feet. I mean, these guys always had gigantic looking feet anyways. These big clod hoppers. And then the last Predator I have to compare with is this Golden Angel Predator from Predator 2. And there you go. Just not even close. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you guys think of Neca's Armored Assassin Predator? By far my favorite part of that 2018 Predator movie was this guy, and after Neca released him as a figure, I'm absolutely in love with it, and he is going to fit in nicely with my other Predator collection. And I do need to get that Fugitive Predator just so I can put him side by side and maybe try to recreate the Armored Assassin Predator lifting him up with one arm like he shows on the back of that box. That has to happen. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!